Welcome to the Engineering Manager Podcast, where we explore the strategies and the insights that help engineering leaders build high-performing, satisfied teams. I'm your host, Steven Tedjamulia. Today we have a special guest joining us, Tomasz Korzeniowski, CEO and founder of CodeQuest and Hey. Tomasz is a seasoned software engineer turned visionary leader who has dedicated his career not only to building great products, but also fostering exceptional team well-being and performance. Tomasz's unique approach blends innovative tools like his product analysis of Git comments, pull requests, and comments with practical managerial skills honed through role-playing workshops. Today we'll dive into his journey, his insights on managing job satisfaction and team dynamics, and the powerful tools he's developed to support engineering managers. Tomasz, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Steven. It's a pleasure to be here and share my experiences with your audience. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this because this is a topic that a lot of the engineering managers always have in mind, especially as they're growing the team, try to keep their engineers productive and happy moving forward. So to begin, before we dive into your current work and insights, I'd love to start with a bit about your background. You have a fascinating journey from studying finance to becoming a software engineer and then moving on to management and entrepreneurship. Can you share how you made that transition and what led you to found CodeQuest and Hey?
Of course, I will try to make a long story short. So the thing is, after graduating, I became a software engineer. I work in big corporations, big pharma. And then I joined Polaros, a startup specialized in face recognition, in facial recognition technology, which was later bought by Apple. Apple acquired Polaros. And I'm one of the three guys who, instead of moving to California, decided to stay in Poland. And then I found, I have nothing against Apple. The real reason was my wife was pregnant, and that was my top priority. So, and still is. So I decided to stay in Poland. I founded CodeQuest, and CodeQuest is a software development studio where we work on web and mobile applications. Our customers are like Glassdoor, for example, is one of our customers. But we also do things in AI, and you probably can notice in the background a few drones. We also create custom drone solutions. So that's what I do for a living. Another area where I do things is I'm an entrepreneur, and recently I founded How Are You? It's a product that helps engineering managers manage the team, transform developer experience with every one-on-one meeting. So that's what I do. That's my background.
Sounds great. Well, family first. You've gone through acquisition of Apple and founding multiple companies. Super excited to hear about the latest happenings here. So one key theme in your work is the importance of job satisfaction and well-being with engineering teams. What do you believe these aspects? Why do you believe these aspects are crucial? And what are some of the strategies you use to foster a satisfying work environment?
Well, we need to remember that software is built by people and for people. Still, software is built by people and for people. And job satisfaction and well-being, we all know that directly impacts productivity, creativity, and retention. And retention is something really important. I think it is one of the biggest challenges in the industry right now. So, throughout my career, I realized that engineers are more likely to contribute better code, create innovative solutions, and stay loyal and committed to the company when they feel valued and happy. everybody probably has those feelings. I personally focus on one-on-one meetings to foster a good company culture and satisfying work environment. I'm a huge fan of Kim Scott. She and her book Radical Candor. So open and honest communication is in my opinion key. To create a good work environment. Um, yeah, I'm also big on creating a culture of recognition where achievements are celebrated, from small achievements to big ones, and I encourage a healthy work-life balance, providing mental health support, and those are essential things to maintain a positive and productive workplace.
Well, I mean, those are like, and we're going to dive into each one of those. So that's a great outline for things we're talking about. One question that I get often is, what are some of the common indicators that an engineering team's well-being might be at risk? And how can managers proactively address these issues?
Well, common indicators that engineering teams' well-being may be at risk, uh, include noticeable decline in productivity, increased absenteeism, and higher turnover rates. Although those are standard indicators, I guess. However, I also notice, greater, how to say, escalations, or some may begin to complain about tools. You hear a lot of complaints, and that's an indicator that well-being is at risk. Uh, Additionally, if team members consistently work long hours, meet deadlines, take a long time to commit code, or show signs of burnout as irritability and lack of engagement, these are red flags, and we as engineering managers should and have to intervene. Or, we are paid for making a change and intervention. Um, if we don't, teams can lose trust in us as a managers. So those are, I think, indicators that well-being may be at risk.
Now, I think it's really fascinating because you've developed a surveys and tools to help monitor team satisfaction and dynamics. Can you tell us more about these tools and how they work?
Well, this was something that we're doing manually at CodeQuest, in the software agency, and that's why we decided, to build a small kind of DX platform, developer experience platform, that aims to analyze work patterns through Git commits, to analyze satisfaction, to analyze team dynamics, how people collaborate, and what is the dynamics. So I strongly believe that productivity is tied with happiness and satisfaction. So by gouging job satisfaction and enhancing team collaboration, we naturally can boost work output, and our work output is code that we commit to code repository. So the product is called Hey, how are you? And please forgive me this shameless promotion. I strongly encourage to give it a try.
Very good. So, you've shared some examples of how to know when your team may be at risk. Hey does a great job, and you're trying to automate the way to survey and check up on satisfaction of the development teams. How do you ensure that job satisfaction is consistently maintained as teams grow and projects evolve? And
Well,
I know some of your technology helps there as well.
yeah, that's actually where quick, easy to done, well, where pulse surveys come into play. They help engineering managers regularly, in my case even daily, check up on team satisfaction and happiness. Um, and as team grow and projects evolve, a lot of discussions also need to be had. Also, as there are chances that many developers may be missing out on skill set. You need to do one-on-ones to ensure the job satisfaction. So you need a tool like a quick survey on Slack to make a pulse check, and you need to find out through one-on-ones and surveys opportunities for helping people. I also think that to satisfaction, what contributes to satisfaction is flexibility in work arrangements and promoting healthy work-life balance. Again, like I said earlier, software is built by people and for people, so people need to be in good shape in order to create good code.
And we have virtual environments, but in your opinion, how does physical work environment contribute to a team's well-being and satisfaction? How important is that part?
Yes, we currently work mostly in a remote setup, but still, it's nice to have an office and go there from time to time. It's also very good for mental health. So it's about physical work environment. Well, you need to create an office where there is a vibe, where there is something, where physical space plays a significant role in team well-being and satisfaction. Joe Spolsky, long time ago, famous Joe Spolsky said, well, buy the best equipment that is on the market. Chairs, monitors, all those ergonomic aspects are important. And inviting and well-designed office can reduce stress, enhance creativity, and improve overall morale. So yeah, still in the times of remote work, physical work environment can contribute nicely to physical work environment can contribute to team well-being and satisfaction.
That's very important points. Now, another one that I know you stress well within your Hey product and your philosophy is about the role of transparency. So, what role does transparency play in fostering job satisfaction, and how do you implement it in your teams?
Well, transparency is crucial in fostering job satisfaction because it builds trust, aligns expectations, and empowers team members by keeping them informed and about company goals, changes, and decision-making process. In my teams, I practice transparency. I implement transparency by maintaining open channels of communication, to say it officially. And I want to be open and encourage honest feedback. Like I said before, I love Kim Scott's radical candor and draw inspiration from her. She is a big on emphasizing the importance of caring personally while challenging directly. I strongly recommend to read this book. This is the good one.
Okay, I will take that. And for those listening, that's a good recommendation. So that's Kim Scott's radical candor.
Yep.
Going on talking about, and this is a topic that love to hear a little bit more about, is how do you balance individual needs of team members with the overall goals and deadlines of a team or project?
Well, it all starts with understanding each team member's strengths, challenges, and personal aspirations. Then aligning this with the project objectives. Well, a good engineering manager will often balance all all those aspects. Regular check-ins and one-on-one meetings can help recognize any potential conflict or personal issues early on. By learning this, you can adjust workloads and deadlines as necessary while keeping the overall project on track. So that's this approach drives collective success as a motivated team is more productive and innovative.
No, thanks for sharing that. One more question in this section, and I'm jumping, is how do you handle situations where there's a significant gap between the perceived and actual job satisfaction among team members?
Well, handling situations is a good question. Handling situations where there is a significant gap between perceived and actual job satisfaction requires proactive and empathetic approach. Again, open communication, and I know that I'm saying it all the time. Open communication is key here. It's nice to have regular one-on-one meetings that can help identify any problems early on. You can use anonymous servers also to get insights into this team's morale. So once issues are identified, it's important to address them directly with transparency, involving team members in creating actionable solutions. Recognizing celebrating small wins, providing opportunities for professional growth, and ensuring that teams' effort align with their personal goals can bridge the satisfaction gap and foster more motivated team.
Yeah, this was, and I love these questions and the answers you gave, because they really help us to understand a little bit about job satisfaction and team well-being. I want to jump into another segment here, talking about collaboration, team collaboration, and work output. Those are two very important parts of how you take your team to the next level. So balancing collaboration and productivity is another critical aspect of managing engineering teams. What are your thoughts on how to improve team collaboration while optimizing work output?
Well, I really like pair programming, and we do this quite often during software development. But how do you quantify this? Well, because quantifying and overusing data perhaps is what many companies do and what many startups are exploiting these days. For me, it is also about looking at productivity data, but in the context of what is happening around you. Like finding patterns that could be improved, eliminating bad habits, and in general, helping people be more effective at their job. So it's hard to quantify everything, but through discussions, you can see what is happening and who is contributing more than normal outside the code. Improving team collaboration while optimizing work output is all about fostering an environment where open communication and clear goals coexist seamlessly. Again, establishing regular check-ins and using collaborative tools that make information sharing effortless is crucial here. And balancing workloads to prevent burnout and allowing for flexible work schedules can boost productivity. In essence, it is about creating a supportive atmosphere that values each team member's input while keeping the collective objectives front and center.
Right. Now you've mentioned a little bit about using comments, pull requests, commits to analyze as a way to gain insight into these team dynamics, collaboration, output. Can you elaborate on how this works and the kind of information it could reveal about a team?
You can create graphs like in GitHub. You have a punch card, but you can have a super fancy punch card where you can identify work patterns. Well, examining the commit messages and comments in a repository can be very useful. By analyzing these comments, you can identify work patterns and also monitor collaboration and code ownership. Well, you can do a sentiment analysis of comments, see how often code is commented on and who is contributor, and you can see which comments have the biggest impact and value. So it makes sense to dive really into data developers produce each day. For example, frequent detailed comments may indicate a culture of knowledge sharing. Why terse or infrequent comments may suggest rush work or lack of communication. Uh, Analysis helps recognize contributors' areas of expertise, spot bottlenecks in workflow, and understand the team's collaboration practices, overall health.
And now that's pretty cool that you're doing that. And you mentioned the concept of more sophisticated punch cards. How does this tool help manage activity and outputs?
Well, you present data visually, which could help identify patterns that could affect development. For example, the punch card could illustrate lots of commits and PRs open, but no code reviews carried out by a teammate. Another example is doing, large commits infrequently instead of smaller code commits more often. This could be all discovered with a easy to read graph punch card. What I would like to share with your audience, Steven, is our ebook on exploring behavioral patterns in software development, and there you have examples how different graphs of how those different what kind of work patterns you could identify through this more sophisticated punch card. Yeah. Of course, this those work patterns can be on individual level, can be on team level. I strongly encourage to check out the ebook and see how you can benefit from it.
Now, for sure, we're going to put a link out to the ebook, but where can they get it? What website should they go to?
It is on the howareyou.org, and there will be a link to our The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly ebook, where we explore 26 behavioral practices in software development, and this is free document.
Sounds great. Well, let's put a link out there, and you can go to howareyou.com, correct?
howareyou.org. Howareyou.org. And this is how are you, because how are you, it's always the first question when you start one-on-one meeting. So that's why we call it product How Are You?
That's great. Now, in that book, you share some practical tips as well, as you mentioned before, but can you share some practical tips for fostering effective communication and collaboration in remote or hybrid teams?
Well, to foster effective communication and collaboration in remote or hybrid teams, you need to start by setting clear expectations and regular check-ins. I suggest to utilize a mix of synchronous and asynchronous communication tools, video calls for more personal interaction, and messaging apps like Slack or messaging apps for quick updates. I really like also do Loom videos to give feedback asynchronously, and we also use Miro as our platform, where we also gather feedback and design things. But in general, the most important is encourage an open and inclusive culture where team members feel, comfortable sharing ideas and feedback. And what is remote work? Lastly, I suggest also to meet in person. And what we do at CodeQuest, once a year we have a company retreat where all our remote workers even fly from France or Spain, and we have a chance to meet face to face. This is sometimes you are surprised how people are different in a real life than on Zoom. Sometimes people are taller or smaller. It's nice. It's nice to see each other.
That's right. Well, I imagine there's some goodness, but there's some challenges as well that you faced in maintaining team collaboration and productivity. How have you addressed those?
Well, regular check-ins and feedback loops. I learned about through regular check-ins and feedback loops. I learned about people on a more personal level, and learned to adapt my style to theirs. So this is to ensure it helps me to ensure that everyone feels heard and valued. I also encourage the use of collaboration tools like Slack or Jira to keep communication transparent and everything organized. Yes, there are. This remote setting is a little bit more trickier than it used to be in the past. No gossips next to water cooler. So
now, talking about gossip, trust becomes very important when you try to collaborate in a team. How can managers build and maintain trust within their teams?
Well, engineering managers can enhance team. Imagine you had somebody on your team who didn't have your back. That can prove catastrophic. Trust is a backbone of any successful team collaborations, and you build trust like in life by being transparent, consistent, and easy to approachable. This involves actively listening to the team members, giving credit where it's due, and addressing issues fairly and promptly. So, yeah, this is, I think, main contributors to build and maintain trust within their teams.
Now, when we're talking about trust, we also talk about conflict, right? Those are like two things that are opposites. How do you handle conflict within a team that could potentially disrupt collaboration and productivity?
You don't want to let problems, fester to the point that they can destroy your company. And I'm serious here. And if you read Radical Candid by Kim Scott, she starts her book with a story how her company was destroyed by not being able to handle conflict. So you need to be also aware that resolving workplace conflict isn't easy. I always start by bringing the parties together for a honest and respectful conversation. It's crucial to listen to each person's perspective, without interrupting, making them feel bad. They need to be feel heard and valued. Then I steer discussion towards finding common ground and mutual goals. If emotions run high, I may take a break and meet later to let cooler heads prevail. At the end of the day, it's about promoting a culture of empathy where team members appreciate diverse viewpoints and work collaboratively towards a resolution that benefits everyone.
And going on to the next segment, because bringing people together and having those hard conversations requires some practice and some skill building. So I know you've developed a course that uses role playing to help engineering managers handle these challenging scenarios. Why did you choose role playing as a method, and how does it benefit managers?
Role playing, with code, it's easy. You commit code, you can always roll back, etc. With people, if you do something bad, you cannot roll it back. You can apologize, etc. But the bad feelings will stay. And I like role playing because role playing is a dynamic, immersive way for engineering managers to navigate, challenging scenarios in software development. Um, Role playing does this by simulating real life situations in a controlled and safe environment, free from judgment. I chose this approach because it allows managers to step into different roles, view problems from various perspectives. So I really like role playing. This is effective way of practicing and learning.
Can you give us some examples of the types of scenarios you cover in your course and how it prepares managers for real life situations?
In Scrum we have ceremonies. As an engineering manager, we also have standard situations that may happen. We cover everything from communicating tough decisions and motivating and rewarding your engineers. We also talk a lot and practice conflict resolution. For example, in our workshop, we have a section on accountability. And in this section, we role play a difficult scenario, adhering to a specific framework that starts with showing your human side, explaining the reason for the meeting, discussing the problem, all the way to setting consequences. And this framework could be used to address anything from underperformance to conflict resolution. So we practice different scenarios that you can encounter during your career as an engineering manager.
Now, in your experience, have you done these role plays? You've worked with engineering managers. What are some common mistakes engineering managers make during difficult conversations, and how can role play help avoid them?
Well, one common mistake engineering managers make during difficult conversation is letting emotions drive the discussion instead of staying objective and focus on the issue at hand. Engineering managers may also fail to listen actively. Engineering managers may interrupting or jumping to conclusions without fully understanding the employee's perspective is bad. But there is many mistakes. Well, taking sides, lack of empathy, poor communication, or failing to communicate effectively can lead to misunderstandings and further conflict. I don't know, not focusing on solutions. Overlooking underlying issues, addressing only surface level symptoms without courage to or without understanding the root cause can lead to recurring conflicts. So this is where role playing can be a great tool here. Role playing allows managers to practice staying calm, honing their active listening skills, and finding constructive ways to address issues.
And for those engineering managers that are hesitant to engage in role playing due to fear or vulnerability, or failure, what advice you have for them as they're, contemplating, should I do this or not?
Yeah, well, it's important to recognize that these simulations are a safe space for growth and learning. And the best advice I could give is to start small and view it as a practice ground rather than a performers. Or I'm a musician, and you need to practice before performance. um, Role playing is less about exposing flaws and more about building resilience and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. And vulnerability can be a strength. So take that leap, and I think your future self will thank you.
Yeah, it will. So as this was very informative. I mean, we've dove into some of the features of being able to, um, um, how do you organize, set up, help your team become high performing? How do you know, and how do you keep a pulse on your team? How do you practice through role playing? Many different aspects. What advice would you give engineering managers who want to improve their team's job satisfaction and performance?
Well, I would say for new or aspiring engineering managers, focus on building relationships with your team. Learn about them, what makes them tick, understand their individual strengths, career aspirations, and what motivates them. Open communication and continuous feedback is key. Make it clear that everyone's voice matters. I think what engineering managers should do, well, my advice would be show your direct reports that you care by encouraging a healthy work-life balance, and then recognize achievements, both big and small. And ultimately, lead by example with transparency and integrity. Your actions set the tone of your team's culture and performance. A happy team is a high performing team, so invest in their well-being and growth.
Tomas, we're coming up on the time here, but I want to give a chance because, as an engineering managers in the community are listening to you, listening to your best practice and advice. You have different kind of services that you could provide to help them out. Can you quickly review why should they reach out to you, and what can you provide for them so that, as they listen to this, they're like, okay, this is how Tomas can help me. Can you give me an overview of those services and how you can help them?
Well, what we how I can help. I'm really happy to team up and work together on web and mobile app. But please give a try to howareyou.org. I believe, nice and simple platform that can help engineering managers to lead the team, monitor work outputs, find those work patterns we discussed earlier, check on satisfaction through pulse surveys, or monitor team dynamics. So howareyou.org is a product that I'm working on and I use on daily basis. You can hire agency that I own, to help with the development. And if you want to talk about drones or AI, I'm always happy to join the discussion. Again, well, I just want to say, because I'm really proud. 1 month ago, we were rewarded on the NATO Ukraine Innovation Forum. We've developed a drone that was, well, quite smart drone. So if you need help with building autonomous drones or using AI with drones, I'm here to help.
That
Yeah.
sounds really good. I was watching the the Copa America yesterday, and those drones in the soccer field, they're getting pretty smart. That they have
Well,
not only government and the military, but even in sports.
even sport, and actually, you can hire us to use AI to analyze your movement as a soccer player or as a player, and compare your movements to let's say David Beckham or Messi, and see
Yeah,
how good you are, or practice practice. So yeah, AI, web, mobile, those areas where we can help.
yeah. I have another podcast on enterprise AI technologies, and I would love to have you on that one. But no,
Thank you.
thank you so much. I mean, we could go on for a long time. I'm trying to keep on time here for our podcast, but thank you so much, Tomasz, for sharing these insights, your experience today. I hope those in the community can reach out. It's been a pleasure to learn from you and your journey and innovative approaches. So thank you for taking your time today.
Thank you, Steven. It's been great to be here and talk with you and share my story with your audience. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And then if you stay on a little bit, we'll close out here, and then we'll chat a little bit. And for the listeners, if you want to learn more about Toma's work and his tools for engineering managers, be sure to check out the links in the bottom of the notes that we'll put out and on the community itself. So thank you for tuning in to the Engineering Manager podcast. Until next time, keep thriving and build happy and high performance teams.
Thank you.
Thank you.